welcome back to the next edition of the India Development Debate right here on ET Now. I'm Supriya Shrinate. The countdown has seriously begun for the biggest battles as far as states in 2018 are concerned. Stakes are getting higher for both the BJP and the Congress. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Mizoram will be going to polls starting Monday. Dubbed as the semi-finals before 2019, it's a high-stake battle for both sides of the political spectrum, and both of them are leaving no stone unturned in raising the political rhetoric. Well, the BJP has gone all out to woo the aadmi with its development agenda and the never-failing Hindutva ideologue. Congress has raked up the Rafale row like never before, even as it struggles to stitch together a Mahagathbandhan with scattered regional allies. Let's put the spotlight to where it belongs. What will these elections mean for 2019? Will this bolster the narrative of a fatigue with this government? Will it make it even tougher for the Congress to stitch together a Mahagathbandhan, or will it continue to remain elusive? For all of that and more, I've been joined by a very special panel right here. Sadanand Dhume, Resident Fellow, American Enterprise Institute, joins us all the way from Washington. Sanjeev Srivastava, political commentator, joins us right here. And representing the two political parties, Vineet Goenka, member and ex-national co-convener of the IT cell in the BJP, joins us. And Rohan Gupta represents the Congress party here. Thank you very, very much, each one of you, for being with us. And Sadanand, if I may start with you, it's being dubbed as the Maha-election. It's being dubbed as the semi-final for 2019. 5 states going to poll. The references will be drawn to Lok Sabha 2019. What is your take on this entire thing? Are we making this out to be a bigger deal than this really is? Or is this really going to be a narrative-setting election, so to say?
I think this is a big deal. I think, this cluster of states has traditionally been seen as a semi-final. It's important to point out that its predictive capacity is sometimes overrated. For example, in the run-up to the 2004 election, the BJP had done very well in those states as well in 2003, but ended up losing in 2004. But again, in 2013, the BJP did very well, and that, in fact, set the tone for what ended up being a historic election victory. So in terms of the evidence, it seems to sort of swing both ways. But in terms of narrative setting, I would say that there's absolutely no question that these elections are crucial, particularly because 3 of the states, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, are in the Hindi heartland, which, as we all know, is crucial for both parties. I'll just add one last thing, which is that in this battle between the BJP and the Congress, I would say it's extremely important for both, but it's more important for the Congress. If the Congress can wrest at least 2 out of the 3 Hindi heartland seats from the BJP, it gives it momentum and it gives it a certain amount of credibility. If the Congress loses badly again, then I think that going into 2019, it looks very hard. It'll be very hard for them to resurrect themselves. So important for both, but more important for Congress than for BJP.
Okay, let me get in Sanjeev Srivastava. And Sanjeev, you agree? This is going to be an important election. It will be a narrative-setting election. I think Sadanand has hit the nail on its head by saying that this is a Hindi heartland election as far as Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh are concerned. Does the imperative really lie on the Congress to win this one, even as the BJP will try and retain at least 2 out of those 3? The polls are all pointing to a rout in Rajasthan, but a very, very tough fight both in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh.
I think yes, to some extent, the onus is on the Congress to take the initiative and prove to itself and to other opposition party that it's still a force to reckon with, at least in states where it's pitted in a direct battle with the BJP. And I think even before the election results are out, at least so far as how the campaign momentum is going and what one hears from reports on the ground, and like you just mentioned, Rajasthan, it's a one-way battle, a one-way street. I am sticking my neck out and saying that it's a wave election in favor of the Congress unless a miracle happens. In Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, the contest is too close. Chhattisgarh, even if the BJP wins, the credit will go to Mayawati and Jogi and to the alliance and equations on the ground. And MP, it can go either way really. So already Congress has proved a point. The BJP is somewhat on a back foot, but they can always say they have been 15 years anti-incumbency in at least 2 of the states. And Rajasthan, it has always been like this for last 30 years, that every 5 years the government changes. So at the end of the day, whatever the result, both sides will have something to talk about and something to say that, okay, this is not 2019. And to be fair, it will not be 2019 because 2019 it will be Modi in picture And it will depend on what, and you, even in state like Rajasthan, Modi has support right now at ground level. Not to the extent of 2014, but certainly the assembly results will not be predicting a Modi complete disillusionment with Modi. So, so it will be a different election in 2019.
Okay, so oh yes, 2019 is going to be all about Mr. Modi, and he will ensure it's all about him. He may have not ensured so far, at least in the state elections. But Vineet Goenka, I was actually tempted to take it to Rajasthan, but I will ask you a direct question here. Is Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, are all these elections really individual chief ministers contesting this, even though I know the BJP would want to retain these states simply because, you know, hawa badalti lagti hai, that narrative starts setting in? Or is Mr. Modi going to be a factor? If you were to lose Rajasthan, is it a mandate against Mr. Modi, or is it a mandate against Vasundhara Raje? And in the same way, I want you to extrapolate the other two states as well.
Yeah, you asked multiple questions in one go. So let me attempt all of them. One good part is, in any elections before this election, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh were seen as to be Bimaru Pradesh. So now this tag is gone, and the earlier panelists said this is a Hindi belt. So, you know, development from Bimaru to a developed state. If you see Rajasthan itself, 8.4 lakh growth, GDP growth. That is a substantial growth which we can see there, and that growth is there. Now, when there are elections, especially in a state like Rajasthan, where there is a scene of an alternate governments, many times these kind of discussions are there. But if you go to the ground, Congress right now is disturbed house. It is between the Gujars and also Mr. Gehlot that there is a fight going on. Whereas the leadership of Rajasthan of Bharatiya Janata Party is single-handedly handled by Vasundhara Ji, and then there is a central leadership which we have, which Congress does not have. So Congress, we are just waiting for our star pracharak. On a lighter side, the moment Rahul Gandhi ji goes for prachar, we will have benefits there in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh both. But on the serious side, I think our Karyakartas are doing very nicely, and in the days to come you will be surprised to know we may probably win even Telangana, which is going to be there. So that's the scene, and everybody at home is very much enthusiastic to go and face the voters there.
Because I know in lighter vein and in serious vein those pot shots would have come, but I'll get Rohan Gupta into this discussion. And Rohan, as far as Rajasthan is concerned, it is a very, very important election for the Congress party. If you can break through Rajasthan, you would have broken through one important state in the Hindi heartland. Given that space, and Rajasthan has now started behaving like Kerala, it alternates between the Congress and the BJP. Unlike other states like Uttar Pradesh, you don't have a very strong regional force there. It's a direct contest between the two national parties. Even then, you know, there are these, there is this speculation, is it going to be Gehlot, is it going to be Sachin Pilot, and that adds to you know, the narrative that why do we keep people guessing. Having said that, while Sushasan may be the big buzzword in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, it may not be the same in Rajasthan. How crucial is Rajasthan going to be for you, given this is going to be a big breakthrough if you indeed wrested from Vasundhara Raje?
See, Supriya, if we see these elections, these are the elections not between the individuals, but these are the elections between arrogance and inability to perform for BJP and people on the other side, and we are with the people on the other side. BJP spokesperson was talking about lighter side and serious side and all. There is nothing lighter about it. It is the question of ambitions of people. We have seen results of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh by-elections where BJP was winning by 2 lakh votes. They have been defeated by 2 lakh votes. What is this? This is the voice of people. People of India, now they have understood whether it is Mr. Modi or their chief minister in different states. They are all Jumla kings. They give promises to people and they convert them into Jumlas. See, at the end of the day, people of India now they understand that anybody, whether it is Congress or BJP, they will have to perform. They cannot forget their promises by saying that they are the Jumlas and they cannot be fulfilled. If you see Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, what is the flight of the farmers? You just go to these two states and you will be surprised that the number of farmer deaths, it is mind-boggling. When you go to ground, you will find that people are irritated with BJP, whether it is Vasundhara in Rajasthan or Shivraj in Madhya Pradesh. They have written off these people. people. Now what BJP is trying to do, they just want to divert the narrative. After 15 years of rule in Madhya Pradesh or 5 years of rule in Rajasthan, you will have to go to people with your report card. You cannot come out with the arguments that this is what Congress is speaking, this is what Congress is doing. And there was one argument by you that whether it will be battle between Mr. Modi and Congress or local leaders and Congress. This is battle against BJP and people. Let me remind you, Notebandi was not possible without Mr. Modi. GST implementation was not possible without Mr. Modi. So all the blunders of this government.
Gupta, I'm going to come in there. I asked you a direct question. You've given me a rather direct answer, but I will come in there. And I am going to take this across to Sadanand for just a minute now. And Sadanand, while Rajasthan seems to be a given and there seems to be this wave in the favor of the Congress, we can't say the same about Madhya Pradesh. There is a vote share difference of just 1 to 3% likely, and that can really swing an election like it has in the past. What do you believe ails the Congress in Madhya Pradesh? The fact that they have a very, there seems to be the clash of titans, so to say, between Kamal Nath and Jyotiraditya Scindia, or is Madhya Pradesh going to be the battle that BJP will actually stake claim to and put all its might behind? Shivraj Singh Chauhan, has been there for years now, and the central leadership seems to be more favorable to Madhya Pradesh than they are to Rajasthan. At least that's seemingly what it suggests.
So,
and
I agree with
it is going to be a prestige battle for both sides, right?
Yeah, so I would say that all of these states, I would say Madhya Pradesh is the most interesting and the most important. Rajasthan has, as Sanjeev has pointed out, it's traditionally followed this pattern of alternating between one government and the other. Now the Congress is likely to win Rajasthan, despite its odd model of not declaring a chief minister, of having these competing factions, the Pilot faction and the Gehlot faction and so on. Madhya Pradesh really is a test of that model. If the Congress can win Madhya Pradesh, despite the fact that there is obvious bad blood between Jyotiraditya Scindia and Digvijay Singh, and then you can toss Kamal Nath into the mix somewhere. If Congress can transcend its factionalism and still win, when the BJP has one very clear leader who is a very tall leader in that state, then I think it's fair to say that this indicates a genuine revival of the Congress party. If Congress ends up falling just short, like it fell short in Gujarat, I think then people are going to continue to scrutinize the party and scrutinize the problems that it has. And the essential problem really is that internally it needs the Gandhi family, but externally the Gandhi family has been unable so far to really seal the deal for a long time, particularly in the Hindi heartland. So I think out of all of these three, the bellwether that is the most interesting is Madhya Pradesh, and it's precisely for the reasons you outlined. Can the Congress transcend the factionalism that has brought it down in the past, or will it be a victim to the same old problems again?
Okay, that's an interesting point that you talk about. I mean, the battles within the Congress and the contradictions there. But Sanjeev Srivastava, as far as both Madhya Pradesh, I'll come to you in just a minute, Mr. Goenka. But as far as Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh are concerned, was it a missed opportunity, a missed bus to forge an alliance with Mayawati? I mean, look at Chhattisgarh. The Jogi Mayawati alliance could actually end up garnering 7% of the vote share, and that could mean a big dent for the Congress. In a run-up to 2019, is that something that the Congress could ill afford?
Well, I'll not mince words. Yes, on the surface, it looks like a missed opportunity. But I think Mayawati had made up her mind not to go with the Congress party. In fact, somebody as senior as Ahmed Patel told me on the day that Mayawati Jogi alliance was sealed, that they had actually sent Mayawati a list of 45 candidates, which they were 45 seats which they were willing to cede to Mayawati, or at least were willing to discuss whatever, not even believing Ahmed Patel completely. The fact is that Mayawati wanted this election to prove a point that she will be very crucial to any kind of tie-up in Uttar Pradesh, and that is her focus. UP is her focus, and she wants the best deal for herself in Uttar Pradesh. She really can't care less who wins in Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. She has no love lost for the BJP or the Congress party either. So I think While everybody who does not like BJP wanted that alliance to happen, but if the main principal actor does not want it to happen, then it's very difficult to stitch it up. The other problem with the Congress party faced was that if they give, out of the 225 odd seats, if they give 60, 70 seats in Madhya Pradesh to a BSP, then what are they left with? Even in those very few pockets of influence they have in the country where the Congress party can stand on its own and say they are a party. They are a finished party in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the principal two states in the Hindi heartland. So that deal was not happening. In hindsight, at least one can say that. And yes, I completely agree with Sadanand that the Madhya Pradesh is the key. Rajasthan is a done deal, and I don't give much credence to Sachin Pilot, Gehlot differences because frankly people don't care. And when there is a surge or a momentum against a particular party, these differences can affect when the contest is really close and the margins really narrow. Then a Gehlot can shift his Mali vote or a Sachin Pilot can shift his Gujar vote, and that is also more of myth than reality on ground. So really Madhya Pradesh is the key where if the Congress can win, and the one place I'll disagree with Sadanand, even if it loses marginally, it can still walk away with a good consolation prize. And again, I entirely agree with him when he says that today's Gandhis, today's leadership of the Congress party is unable to actually, they are good to cement the party and keep the party united, but they are not vote, they are no vote pullers, unfortunately. They can't add on to the kitty of the party. That's a handicap which Congress faces now.
Okay, Sanjeev, give me a minute there. I want to come in there and you know, Rohan Gupta, I think while we are talking about this Mahagathbandhan, and it's very important to discuss these state elections with an eye on 2019. The fact that you could not seal a deal with Mayawati in Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh, and that may impact you adversely in both those states, is cause for concern as far as this whole Mahagathbandhan idea is concerned. You couldn't do it in a state. Or are you someone who, like a lot of senior people that I speak to in the Congress party, are hopeful that when it comes to UP, when it comes to Lok Sabha elections being announced, things will be different? Are you somebody who thinks like that? Because this was a missed opportunity, and you know, winning Rajasthan and winning one more state, I'm presuming is going to be very important for Rahul Gandhi to be that catalyst of the Mahagathbandhan. I know there will not be pan-India Mahagathbandhan, but for him to emerge as the fulcrum of this opposition unity, you will have to win big time.
See, if you see every state, each seat has a different, atmosphere, political parameters. If you see Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, Congress and BJP, these are the two parties where there is a direct fight for last so many years. If you talk about BSP, on ground they don't have that much of presence, and it's not that Congress has not tried. But BJP, I don't know what is their objective. Even after all the efforts of Congress party, they were not interested in tie-up. At the end of the day, if you see the ground level situation in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, if you see all the by-elections, we have won by more than 2 lakh votes. So all these states, Congress is strong enough to take on BJP, and at the end of the day, if you see both the states, the state governments have miserably failed on all the parameters. See, at the end of the day in debates, whatever permutation combinations we discuss, but once people have made up their mind, I think all these things doesn't matter. And if you see Mayawati, whether it is Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan, you tell me all other elections, whether it is local body elections or Lok Sabha, I don't think so they have the presence. At the end of the day, when it comes to 2019, when it is Uttar Pradesh, obviously the dynamics are different. Bihar, the dynamics are different. Maharashtra, the dynamics are different. So obviously Congress will respect the state dynamics. Whenever 2019 elections are, we will discuss state to state.
Okay, Rohan. Okay, Rohan, give me a minute there because I want to go to Vineet Goenka. And Vineet Goenka, you've got to be candid enough with me here to admit that when it's election time, and I'm blaming both the Congress and the BJP on this, substantive issues take a back seat. So issues of an agrarian crisis, issues of joblessness, issues of, important everyday issues for voters just take a back seat. I mean, today this election is dominated by a Rafale scam. Today this election is dominated by the Hindutva agenda. Suddenly Ram Mandir is at the core of every debate. I mean, is this a template that the BJP is going to use before every election, whether it's state elections, and is this going to be a heightened narrative even before 2019? Because already we are seeing this whole Ram Mandir, which I fail to understand why is it being raised time and again before elections.
No, I agree with you. somebody is trying to push this narrative, whereas this is not the narrative of Bharatiya Janata Party or the people who like Bharatiya Janata Party. But before I make a point, I just want to answer 4 words in Hindi, which Rahul ji will understand. Niti, Neta, Naitikta or Naivedya. If you don't have policy, you don't have a leader, you don't have credentials or credibility, and also the serving of the people, then people don't believe you. And I think Congress lacks in that. And let me give you solid examples which are in figures. Per capita income of Rajasthan was 76,146 rupees in 2014. Now it is 1,500,000 rupees plus per capita income. That difference is 25%. This jump is in last 4 years. Another big ticket item, the Barmer Rajasthan oil refinery, which has been started. That is a big ticket item, and that shows.
Many years back, I went for the inauguration of that. Let's not quote things out of context.
Now let me give you 5 crore gas connections. That's what Rajasthan wanted. Rajasthan females used to collect woods from the jungle or the area nearby and then burn it, and 5 crore gas has been given over this, and this has benefited them. The total kilometers of road been built is more than 1,20,000 kilometers in the country, and Rajasthan is big beneficiary of that. The brick model, the backward religious institution connectivity, which connects the Shekhawati region of that. If you see the total spend in the MSME which is there is more than 3,794 crore rupees. Now all these are hard ticket numbers which they should believe. 1,57,804 jobs been given in government itself today morning. I took this figure. So now this about research, and Rajasthan gave more than 3.3 lakh crore rupees investment. I'll give you one analogy. I come from Rajasthan, Supriya ji. My forefathers have come from Rajasthan. They migrated to other places, that is in Maharashtra. Reason because there was nothing to eat there in Rajasthan. All these years till 2014, it was called as Bimaru state because people of Rajasthan used to migrate outside, whether they were running small business or a job. But you will be surprised to know, now if you go to Jaipur, you will find a Bengali heartland there because a lot of people from West Bengal have migrated there as a laborers or clerks there. That shows the revival of the economy there. If there are people there and you can speak Tamil and survive there in Ajmer, because you see a lot of Tamilites migrating there. And these are the symptoms of growth.
I wish this was the narrative of elections. I wish people were
pointing out.
No, I'm sorry, it is not. And I blame both you and the Congress. No, the Congress, 1 second, Rohan Gupta, the Congress is going on Rafale and you are going on the Hindutva agenda, but let me get a neutral observer to answer that question. And Sadanand, will you agree with me that as far as the end of the tenure of this government is concerned, suddenly the Hindutva agenda, the Hindutva narrative is being resurrected?
I only agree with you partly.
And there's no surprise in there.
No, I agree with you only partly. I mean, look, obviously, you and I and people like us would love to have the attentions for, of the electorate focus solely on, key issues of the economy and foreign policy and so on. But I just don't think that's how politics works anywhere, right? I mean, in politics anywhere, you're going to have issues of corruption. You're going to have a little exaggeration. You're going to have issues of identity politics. I mean, just look at look around the world. So I don't think we can step back and apply this technocratic prism to politics. Politics by its nature is messy. And I think in Indian politics, there is a great deal of room for identity politics or religious issues. Now, you and I may wish that it were different, but I think that's just what it is. So I guess, so on that, I think we have a slightly different view.
Fair point, and I have respect for differing views, and I agree with you that as technocrats, we may want to use the same prism. Politics on the grassroots level is very different, and as politicians, the aim is to win, and let there be no doubt about that. But a quick last word, and Sanjeev, want you to come in on this. In 2003, if I remember very clearly, the BJP did win Rajasthan, it won Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and then, of course, Mr. Vajpayee actually advanced elections, general elections in there. Is winning this state battle going to be so crucial even this time around? Are we, will political parties be drawing substantive cues out of this as far as the strategies for 2019 are concerned?
I think 2003 was an exception, and on the back of these victories in these states, I remember in 2004, it was January, I think, in Hyderabad, that the BJP National Executive was held. I was there, and it was basically Chandrababu Naidu who persuaded Arun Jaitley, who persuaded in turn Pramod Mahajan and Vajpayee to advance the elections, because Naidu wanted the Andhra Pradesh elections to be held simultaneously with Lok Sabha to ride on the perceived wave of India shining. Well, all that boomerang. But even in that election, the BJP actually did well in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, which they had won in 2003 end. So as analogies go, that has its own limitation. But yes, I do think two things, that 2019 will still be a different ball game, though there will be shadow of these elections on that, because because remember, the BJP swept these 3 states, especially Chhattisgarh, MP and Rajasthan, 25 out of 25 in Rajasthan, 26 out of 28 in MP, and all of the seats in Chhattisgarh. I think so. Chhattisgarh, I am not sure. So that is definitely not going to happen. And yes, unfortunately, by the time the 2019 election comes, this cocktail of Hindutva plus nationalism is going to be at its peak. But will that allow and will that enable Mr. Modi to come anywhere near the 282 mark, which he did in 2014? Frankly, I don't think so.
Right. Mathematically, it looks difficult, but I think Vineet Goenka wants to make a point in the last 10 seconds. Very quickly, Vineet, I've got to wrap up.
Yeah. See, if you'll have to understand Rajasthan, the bigger voter is the females of the house, the ladies who are there in the house, because this state, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, has a tendency of male going out of the state to work somewhere. And one of the biggest problem was sanitation. The ladies of the house had to go outside for defecation, and 38% was the total coverage there in 2013. Now it is 92% movement. Right. So the females feel that this is done. Second one is dal. It was 125 rupees on the day of election of 2013. Now, who has to purchase that?
Okay.
Now the female.
No, I understand. You're trying to make a point about Rajasthan. Yes. Yes.
The last point which I like to make is 3,214 Jan
Rohan Gupta wants to come in quickly. 10 seconds, Rohan Gupta, and then I've got to end this. I think he's raising a finger to Rohan Gupta. 10 seconds, and I've got to end this.
I have very simple. Mr. Goenka was talking about numbers. I have very simple question to him. If we have performed there, why you have been losing by-elections? See, come on, as far as the issues are concerned, you have given to 622 promise in Rajasthan and not even 50 are fulfilled. It is the election between your arrogance and people, and we are with people this time. Okay. And you will see on 11 December that you are going to lose all the states because of your arrogance.
We will see on 11 December. Okay, Rohan Gupta, Vineet Goenka, Sanjeev Srivastava, and of course Sadanand Dume. Thank you very, very much for being with us on this edition of the India Development Debate. The reason why we chose to put this spotlight on politics, despite there is so much of economic news happening all around us, is because it is important to understand the political landscape of this country, how it's going to change in and run up to 2019, why these state election results are important, how could this be setting the narrative for 2019, and will this force political parties to change their own strategies, their manifestos, and what will it mean for India's economic growth and its development. On that note, we take a quick breather. Thank you very much for being with us on this edition of the India Development Debate.